Hello, I'm John Stossel. This is 2020 in Touch. Here's a peek at what 2020 has for you this week.
Did you hear about the young sexual harassers? Here they are. This 13 and 12-year-old were charged with 5 counts of felony sex abuse in the first degree because of what they did at this Oregon middle school. Officer Marshall Roach testified about what the boys did to some 13-year-old girls.
I remember her telling us that her buttocks was spanked.
And in Waco, Texas, school officials wrote Chris Blackwell's father that Chris had engaged in inappropriate sexual contact and/or sexual harassment.
Christopher rubbed his face in the chest of a female employee.
The odd thing is, Chris is only 5 years old. He was 4 at the time of the alleged sexual harassment.
He did like that.
Show Mama how the teacher did.
What he did that got him into trouble, says his father, was what he's demonstrating on his mom here. He gave his teacher a hug. Only after Chris's father complained did the school agree to change Chris's record from sexual harassment to inappropriate conduct. At least Chris wasn't sent to jail, as were Corey Mashburn and Ryan Cornelison. Corey's mom got the terrible phone call.
He had been touching some girls, and we needed to get down to the juvenile detention. They were arresting him.
She and her husband rushed to this jail.
They said, well, we can tell you Corey is here, but you cannot see him or talk to him.
I was so scared I was throwing up the first and second night.
Why were the boys in jail?
It was butt slapping day.
And what's that?
I don't know, it's just where everyone goes around slapping other people's butts.
The teacher told us to stop, and we stopped, and she took us to the office.
Why were you slapping girls?
It was just a game we did. You'd slap somebody, they'd slap another person. If you got slapped, then you'd slap somebody else.
Today, the so-called victims of the felony sex abuse don't consider themselves victims. These two demonstrated what the boys and the girls did. At school, they say this was a regular event.
Every Friday, we would have slap butt day, and pretty much you would just go around slapping people's butts.
Now, the district attorney also accused the boys of sexual abuse because the police officer wrote that they had dry humped the girls. But the boys and girls both say that all the boys did was party boy. And what's that?
It's just like a really funny dance. So like all the boys do it. They just like bounce up and down, and like it's really funny because they look really retarded when they do it.
I read him his rights from my Miranda card.
And then he asked me if I understood him, but I didn't. But I said, I thought you had to say yes. So I said yes, and he asked me like if I knew what party boy was. And I said yeah, and he said if I did it, and I said yeah. But he called it dry humping, so in his police report.
I mean, we don't even think of it as like, you know, like they're trying to hump us or something. They're just like trying to act stupid.
But the police officer and vice principal were concerned.
They asked us really weird questions, like how bad did it hurt on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like the worst pain in your life. If we didn't answer the questions the way that they wanted to, we felt like we would get in trouble. Like you felt like pressured, really pressured to answer. And we testified that it didn't bother us, you know, it didn't hurt, and I mean, we don't think they should be punished for it.
But punished they were. They were locked up in this jail for 6 days.
The officer talked to them for 5 minutes and then arrested them?
They pushed us up against a wall. They took all our stuff, took our fingerprints. They strip searched us, and then they put us in our cells.
You were strip searched?
Yes. Every time like a lawyer or somebody came to talk to us, we had to get strip searched afterwards.
How many times were you strip searched?
Probably about 6 or 7 times. I was really freaked out. I didn't know why I was in here, like what I did that was so bad that could get me in here.
The first night, their parents waited at the jail.
And you then talked to your parents?
No, we couldn't see our parents for like almost 3 days, I think.
We thought we were going to be able to bring him home that day. We didn't think that he was going to be staying in that juvenile detention facility.
They wouldn't let us talk to our parents at all.
Did they tell you why you couldn't talk to your parents?
No.
It's jail policy, the district attorney told their lawyer. No communications until visiting day.
Monday night, a lot of the girls' families called us and said, this is crazy, you know, these boys didn't do this.
I don't want any boy touching my daughter, but I don't think that they should have been punished the way that they were.
On Tuesday, day 6, the boys were finally released, but banned from school and from seeing many of their friends. The district attorney, she did not want to talk to 2020 about this, demanded a trial. Tracy couldn't believe it.
They swatted the bottoms of these girls. That's all they did, and the girls did it to them.
Why do you think the prosecutor is so eager to go forward?
She's evil. She said she was protecting the boys. How was she protecting the boys? Nobody talked to these boys.
And the snail's pace of our legal system made it worse for the boys and their families. It took half a year before a judge would finally hear a motion to dismiss charges.
The people in our community have no idea what we've been through, not knowing whether our son was going to be put into jail till he's 25 years old, be a registered sex offender for the rest of his life.
What's up, man?
2020 happened to be at their house the day of the trial when they learned that all the girls had signed affidavits saying they wanted the judge to dismiss all charges against the boys.
The last girl just came in and signed.
What does that mean?
That means they have all the signatures that none of the girls feel like they were victims.
Really? Are you serious? Oh my God.
They knew that meant the judge would now drop the charges.
You have my most sincere apology.
In court, the boys still apologized to the girls, but not particularly for slapping them in the butt, but for what the courts and the media put the girls through.
Now it's time to move on. Motion granted, case dismissed.
I'm very happy. It's finally over.
A month later, I talked to the boys and their parents.
The DA says she'd do it again. She did nothing wrong.
She's overusing her power, and that's why she's charging these crazy charges. She's just going to continue to do whatever she wants because she has all the power in the world.
Prosecutors do have lots of power, as do police and school officials. Next time we hear about charges of sex abuse, we should think about that, because sometimes what authorities call abuse is just a hug or a playful game.
They tried to make our minds perverted, and they tried to put us in jail, but it's really their minds that are perverted.
And do it. And then walk away.
And I'm John Stossel. For all of us at 2020, we're in touch, so you be in touch.